Flipping versus holding real estate. How to choose what's best for you and your goals. To flip the house or to hold the house? That is truly the question. When making these expensive choices, error can be extremely heartbreaking. So, here's everything you need to know to settle on that definite sure bet decision to flip the real estate or hold it. The question. It's a very valid question. Millions of investors wreak havoc on their brain to decide whether to flip properties or hold them to generate greater cash flow. So, if you're a beginner in this field, you should surely evaluate both strategies in depth before making any rash decisions. And even if you're more experienced in real estate, it's still wise to anticipate several aspects of selling or maintaining. Flipping and buy and hold strategies have their own set of advantages. On the other hand, they also come with their own unique disadvantages. To assist you in making the right choice, try asking yourself the following. Which investment option is currently best for me as an investor? The investor perspective of flipping properties. As you may already be aware, house flipping or property flipping is the process of buying a property at a discounted price, improving it, and then selling it for a profit. The process of flipping requires an investment of money, as well as putting in the rigorous and sometimes strenuous effort of improving the house. Usually, the profit is greater the faster one can buy, improve, and sell. Investors want to use tactics that lead to quick gains. Like a game of hot potato, investors attempt to get rid of the house or flip it as soon as possible, because being cash-trapped is dire. When an investor is able to flip the house in a relatively short time period, it can also boost an investor's confidence and give some experience for putting funds into a couple of buy and hold properties. Since we're dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars or even millions, investors commonly look for the lowest risk. In terms of value, flipping a house in a short time period can even offer a better return on investment. This leaves you free of long-term real estate fluctuations, therefore accomplishing your goals with a sizable profit. This brings us to our next advantage, which is fewer hassles. You'll be surprised at how the number of issues reduces with the lower carrying costs. And another headache that you'll be spared of is having to deal with the strains of finding tenants to adhere to your lease agreements. Moreover, as most flips deal with distressed properties, the initial investment is normally lower than the market rate. Disadvantages of flipping. Don't make the mistake of being coaxed into unrealistic expectations. No doubt, flipping properties can generate profits in the shortest amount of time. But of course, this doesn't always happen because this is life and crap happens. Just ask Forrest Gump. Truth be told, good properties for fix and flip are very difficult to find. Most investors enter into flipping with unrealistic expectations, which usually tends to make matters worse. Next, for disadvantages, we have Johnny Law and his tax collectors. Since these are short-term investments, flipping properties comes with its own frames of theft. Excuse me, I meant taxation. So, before you break out the champagne bottle to celebrate the imminent profits, be sure to consider these setbacks as well. Like everything in life, when you first engage in a new skill, it's normally difficult to get the hang of it. It takes time and experience before you become good at it. Some people might think that a few TV shows and crash courses can make them an expert-level flipping pro. And you might also think that this video will make you an expert. Unfortunately, that's not the case. You'll be wiser for the information contained here, but you must also have the experience. Now let's get into the potential high investment costs. Investors often think that they can make quick money on flipping. However, if they don't have the proper funds available and ready, short-term investments can surely be more expensive than originally expected. Don't overlook the fact that these short-term investments come with higher interest rates. Many people also forget that even this type of investment can get you stuck, with your cash trapped and only dripping drops with no steady cash flow. Even though that usually happens for a shorter amount of time, the investments made can be high, as you have to take holding and transactional costs into account. As for the verdict, experts say that flipping properties is still an ideal step to take when you have less money to invest. For those who are on a tighter budget, flipping property can also be extremely lucrative. It's also mutually beneficial for beginner investors. Once you get the hang of the regular flipping strategy and the profits generate, it's time to move on to buy and hold properties. Buy and hold properties. Here is where investors can amass great wealth and cash flow. In fact, it's a dream investment for many investors for all the high promises it makes. However, buying and holding isn't for everyone. As we consider the buy and hold strategies, we'll begin with the benefits while keeping in mind that when it comes to decreasing land prices, real estate tends to bounce back at some point in time. After all, it is the one thing they're not making any more of. Just ask Lex Luthor, played by Kevin Spacey. So with this style of investment, the investor purchases a house but holds onto it indefinitely. Improvements may be required to the house, and a tenant can cover the soft costs of maintenance. The advantages of the buy and hold plan. To be frank, the buy and hold plan reaps greater returns over time. Properties typically improve in value over a longer period of time. Short-term market fluctuations have an almost negligible impact on such properties. If you're not a sturdy rock under pressure, it's a grand idea to take the buy and hold plan. This is a much slower process, yet much less stress, because the value doesn't come from the resale, so you don't have to sweat over it. And the market has little to no effect on your cash flow. Plus, there's far less of your precious time allocated to get your return of investment. Next, the buy and hold strategy provides a steady passive income. As you've probably seen in your own experiences, it's normally easier to find renters rather than buyers. To secure your steady income, make sure that your property management team is efficient. As for ownership, if you build it, they will come. Meanwhile, you're always building wealth. The dreaded disadvantages of the buy and hold scheme. Be very cautious of the fluctuating market conditions. Many investors overlook the fact that major drawback of this investment strategy comes from market fluctuations. When you're looking at the entire scheme of things, meaning the big picture, a market that seems to have valuable properties right now can lose its value years down the line. This downfall doesn't exactly occur often with real estate. Nonetheless, if it can happen, it probably will. Excuse the incredulity, but we'll never forget the events that befell us all in 2008. So, to stay on the safe side, it is wise to avoid petty loans or second and third mortgages for your buy and hold properties. To add on to the disadvantages, we have management issues. This means you'll have to be responsible. So, it's inevitable that the investor allocates extra time and energy, which can get frustrating for those who don't have that luxury. And if you have unpleasant tenants, coping with them and the legal issues can surely become stressful. Buy and hold strategy summary. Overall, buy and hold is better suited for investors who have a higher income to start with and less time on their hands. Flipping offers a sweet one-time profit, while buying and holding offers a steady monthly rental, along with long-term profit. On the other hand, the time commitment varies as well. This indicates that while flipping is for investors that are looking for a quick profit in a short time, buy and hold strategies are for the long haul, set for those who are looking at a steady cash flow over a lengthy duration, and for those who have more startup money than the average Joe. So, when you can afford to spend some cash, buying and holding can be very lucrative. When you're on a tight budget, the flip scheme is usually the stepping stone to start the process of the buy and hold strategy. When you own your own land, the headaches that come with managing a property can be dealt with by someone else. Outsource. Why not? All you have to do is be able to pay them. Whatever you choose, keep in mind that every single investment goes into your investment portfolio. Which of these strategies is best for you now? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments section. It's always a pleasure. We hope you were able to better evaluate and choose which strategy is best